Hey, I'm James Gunn, the writer and director of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and this is the WIRED Autocomplete Interview.
And I'm Sean Gunn, I play Kraglin, and I'm James' sidekick in real life.
That's right.
Is James Gunn related to Sean Gunn?
He is his brother. We are brothers. We are two of 6 children.
I hope none of them are harder than that. Is James Gunn directing Superman Legacy?
James Gunn is directing Superman Legacy. We started shooting in January.
Yeah.
You could have answered that. You answer the next. I'll give you the next one.
Is James Gunn the Kevin Feige of DC? Of course, you made me take the hard one. There's a Venn diagram where what they do is similar, and there's part of it where what they do is different.
It's actually a little different. I mean, number one, DC Studios is a studio, so it's a little bit different. Peter Safran does a lot of what Kevin Feige does. A lot of what I do is I just work on the creative side of things. So mapping out the stories and the creative side of the universe is my job, much more so than some of the more administrative, executive type stuff. And Kevin has to do both.
I thought it was a baseball cap question. I thought it was about how often you wear baseball caps.
I wear baseball caps never.
Is James Gunn an auteur?
Oh my God.
I don't know. The auteur,
it's a weird question. I mean, because I don't know what that means exactly. There's so much baggage to it. I mean, auteur theory means that the director is the author of the film. And I am definitely the biggest voice in a film. I make all of the choices, I draw all the frames, but no matter what, there are a lot of people that work on a movie. A production designer, a costume designer, a DP, they all affect the movie, not to mention some actors, you know.
Is James Gunn married?
Ooh.
I can answer that one. The answer to that is yes.
She's right over there.
He's married to Jennifer Holland, right over there. And I married them.
He did. You officiated at the wedding.
I officiated the wedding.
And I officiated his wedding.
Yes,
so.
That's true.
All right. Do I get this one? Who is Sean Gunn in Guardians of the Galaxy? First of all, he plays the role of Kraglin, who is the first mate of the Ravager ship and goes on to become a Guardian of the Galaxy in Volume 3 and in Thor, I guess. But he also plays Rocket on set, which means he waddles around on all fours. He does all the motion capture for Rocket on all twos. And a lot of the times when you see Rocket's expressions, that's actually Sean's acting. And then Bradley Cooper comes in and does the voice. And in this movie, you actually also play young Rocket, which he does the voice for young Rocket when Rocket's a toddler.
He's correct.
Thank you.
That answer is correct.
I passed. Did I get 100? Who is Sean Gunn look-alike? Who do people say you look like?
I used to get Sam Smith all the time.
Yeah, I remember.
Kind of like a younger, sexier Sean Gunn.
Sean Gunn, motion capture.
Well, I think we kind of talked about this, is that I've done motion reference for 6 movies as Rocket, which is a little different. It's just a reference point for the visual effects team. But I also did some motion capture work as Rocket in this 3rd movie when Rocket is young. And I've also done motion capture as Weasel in the Suicide Squad. It's something that has become a part of my career that I never expected.
Can Sean Gunn direct? That's on Google?
I don't know. What does Google say about that? I used to direct theater many years ago.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that thinks that maybe someday I'll do something behind the camera, but I love being an actor so much. I'm not one of these actors who's like, I want to do something else, you know? I love it so much that the idea is sometimes it's enticing, sometimes not.
You don't want to do it.
Yeah. Okay. What was James Gunn's first movie?
First movie I ever did was a movie called Romeo and Juliet, but I didn't really direct it.
No.
Directed aspects of it, but that was my first movie. The first movie I directed was a horror movie called Slither with Nathan Fillion and Michael Rooker and Greg Henry and Elizabeth Banks, and I've put them all in numerous movies since that time.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. It's really good. What movies did James Gunn write?
How many can you name?
All of the movies that you
directed.
All of the movies that you directed. So Slither, Super, 3 Guardians movies, Suicide Squad, both Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah.
The first one, and then Monsters Unleashed.
Classic.
I remember that. Oh, and Tromeo, obviously. You wrote Tromeo and Juliet.
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, right. You wrote Dawn of the Dead.
Belko Experiment.
Belko Experiment.
I think there's a couple more. It's a lot of movies. Yeah, made a lot of movies.
What has James Gunn directed? I think we just kind of went over that.
I directed an 2-minute end credit sequence over movie 43, and so I often get credited with movie 43.
Your finest work.
It brings down my Rotten Tomatoes score quite a bit.
What is James Gunn working on now?
I'm working on Superman Legacy, which we shoot in January. I'm doing the press tour for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We've been recording voices for our animated show, Creature Commandos. And then I'm helping other writers work on other projects in the DC world. What movies has Sean Gunn watched? This is going to be a long list. What movies has Sean Gunn been in? Okay, you were in Pearl Harbor.
That's a pretty long list.
You were in Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
You were in, what's the movie with Jamie Kennedy where you played a dead body for the second half of the movie?
Stricken.
Thor, Love and Thunder. You were in Guardians movies. Of course, you were in the Avengers movies.
Yeah.
What else were you in?
Let's see, Belko Experiment.
Yep.
Some of the indie movies I've done. My gosh, The Auteur Theory, Boy Called Poe, Who the F is Buddy Applebaum.
Were you in The Hive?
So many more. The Hive. I don't know how many it is overall, but I would guess it's around 20.
When Sean Gunn was discovered, you were discovered in numerous. I remember you were on the Andy Richter show when we first came to LA. Your claim to fame initially was Kirk on the Gilmore Girls, which you were on for 7 years.
Yes.
And bought you a house. When Sean Gunn appeared on Gilmore Girls, when did you appear on Gilmore Girls?
I was on the second episode of the first season, so it was like I came in kind of right out of the gate, and I played a character named the DSL Installer, which dates myself and the show. And they kind of just kept asking me back to play other small roles, and it just went on and on. And
what
on.
season did you become a regular on the show?
Season 3.
When did you get a name?
I actually got a name pretty quickly. I got a name in like the 3rd or 4th episode that I did.
Yeah.
People stop doing the street for Gilmore Girls?
Oh my God.
Every
Constantly.
single day for decades.
You got to realize how popular Gilmore Girls is on Netflix now.
Yeah,
and it's just, it's like one of the most popular shows of all time. Does Sean Gunn play Rocket?
I participate in the creation of Rocket. It kind of takes a team of people. There's the writer, and there's me, and there's the visual effects team, and there's Bradley Cooper. And between all of us together, we create Rocket.
Yeah, I think it's one of the reasons why I'm so attached to the character is because he almost seems real, because it's all these people kind of coming together to create this character that's bigger than all of them. Does Sean Gunn not like James Gunn? Wow. What asshole searched Google for this? Somebody looking for some dirt. Oh, wait a second. You're the one that Googled this.
He would never Google that question. If I needed to know, that's how I would know. I'd go to Google. Do I like my brother or not?
Sean and I started making movies together when I was 11 and he was like, 5 or whatever. We've never gotten into a fight about like a creative thing.
No.
Never, ever. So it's just really fluid.
Imagine if we work together on set, but like those guys really don't.
It would be weirder if it was the other way around, considering how many times I've chosen to work with you.
I know.
It would be like, what? Yeah. Does James Gunn read comics? I read tons of comic books. I always have.
Oh, absolutely.
Does James Gunn dye his hair? James Gunn does not dye his hair. This is James Gunn's actual hair color.
Neither did Sean Gunn, by the way. Did James Gunn go to college? He did.
I did go to college. I went to Loyola Marymount, got kicked out of that school. Then I went to St. Louis University, and then I went to graduate school at Columbia University. Did James Gunn direct Peacemaker?
Yes.
I directed 5 of the 8 episodes of Peacemaker.
Did James Gunn help with Infinity War?
I did. I helped with Infinity War. I was an executive producer, and I just helped to guide the Guardians along that process. Sean Gunn, Weasel. Yes.
Agree?
Sean Gunn, Rocket voice.
In this new movie, I do a little section of adolescent Rocket.
But I bet they're wondering like what you sound like on set when you do Rocket.
I try not to like do that voice.
Yeah.
But there is a voice.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Sean Gunn, Creature Commandos.
Yes.
Sean Gunn plays Weasel in Creature Commandos, but he also plays G.I. Robot.
Yeah.
An actual person who can speak words. Well, he's not a person. He's a robot.
Yeah, he is a robot.
And
but
he hates Nazis.
It's good. Oh, Nazis are the worst. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah, and he agreed.
And it's good to not just be Weasel and be like...
Yeah. It's like coming for 2 hours of squealing. Sean Gunn looks like Sam Smith.
I told you.
Sean Gunn, LinkedIn.
You have a LinkedIn? No, but like eons ago, like when it first came out, I still don't know how to log in.
LinkedIn used to be the worst about you'd sign up for LinkedIn and it would send out LinkedIn invitations to everybody in your phone book. And I remember getting a LinkedIn invitation, I think, from Rob Zombie one time, which I thought was the funniest thing in the world.
Colleagues on
He's looking for a step up in the world. He's gonna make some business connections on LinkedIn.
Okay.
James Gunn.
Well, James has one more. What a surprise. James Gunn.
James Gunn. Favorite movies. I have a lot of favorite movies. Among them are The Long Goodbye, a Robert Altman film with Elliot Gould. I love Bob and Carol and Ted Nallis, Paul Mazursky film. I love After Hours by Martin Scorsese. I love Once Upon a Time in the West by Sergio Leone. I love a lot of movies.
James Gunn Funko Pop.
I do have a Funko Pop. It's worth about $500, $600, $700 online if you can get it on eBay.
I have one. I'm really excited to have
I have
one.
a box of them.
If you want to buy one,
I
unload
gave
it.
that to you as a gift.
James Gunn influences.
James Gunn influences. Listen, I'm influenced by every movie I see. But I will give a shout out to a lot of Asian cinema, which has been a big part of what I feel like I've done. I fell in love with Hong Kong movies when I was a very young man, and I watched hundreds of them, owned them on video cassette, sometimes not exactly legal, sorry, because you couldn't watch Hong Kong movies in the United States. They weren't well distributed. So I was very influenced by the way that Hong Kong movies in particular at that time mixed drama, comedy, edgy stuff. And then of course the way they shot action was like nothing before it. And I feel the same way about many Japanese movies, many Korean films. My dog is named Ozu after the great director, Japanese director, so.
James Gunn King Shark.
James Gunn King Shark. Yeah, King Shark's a character that I have in the Suicide Squad that I wrote and played by Sylvester Stallone, who is also in Guardians of the Galaxy as Pickard.
James Gunn Lollipop Chainsaw.
Lollipop Chainsaw is a game that I wrote with the fantastic Suda from Japan, and it was a Japanese-American co-production, and it was a blast. We had a lot of Guardians people in that, because Linda Cardellini's in the game, who plays Lila the Otter. You're in the game. You play like the bad guy. Swan. Tara Strong plays Juliet Starling, who's like the main character, and she plays Mainframe now in the Guardians franchise. Michael Rosenbaum, who plays Martinex, plays her boyfriend, who's a beheaded guy who she wears around her waist. It's a weird game. Rooker plays a pirate or something, or a Viking or something like that.
Yeah.
What do you think of your Google search?
They're good.
Yeah. Yeah.